2021 is a make or break year to tackle the climate emergency. Success at COP26 in November is critical to keep the negotiation process moving forward. And that will require nations not just to follow through on past due commitments, but at the same time raise their collective ambition. It's long past time to wrap up outstanding negotiations and implement the Paris Agreement. Unleashing its full potential will not only address climate change, but help the world build forward from COVID-19. Parties must fulfill their pre-2020 climate commitments, especially with respect to submission of stronger NDCs, and deliver on the pledge by developed nations to mobilize $100 billion annually to developing nations. The obligation to support the efforts of developing countries is paramount and cannot be ignored. From a broader perspective, civil society as a whole must demand of their governments that climate change become a central element of their financial policies and practices. Governments must move away from their long-standing approach to progress, an approach that historically overlooked or disregarded the climate consequences of their investments. But this is also true of private business and investors as well. We must see integration of climate change considerations in fiscal and financial decisions throughout society. Decisions that are consistent with a pathway towards low greenhouse gas emissions and climate-resilient development. We must also raise ambition in mitigation and adaptation. Never has global expectation and political commitment been so far apart. It's time to close that gap. To that end, the Secretary General has called for 50% of the total share of climate finance provided by all developed countries and multilateral development banks to be allocated to adaptation and resilience. The UN urges all donors and multilateral development banks to commit to this goal by COP26 and deliver on it at least by 2024. And finally, we must increase our efforts to bring state and non-state voices together to continue building climate ambition. All have a crucial role to play in the transformation that the world needs. Despite the ticking of the climate clock, I remain optimistic that our climate goals and successful negotiations at COP26 are attainable. These will help not only get us back on track, but take advantage of this truly incredible opportunity the present provides to make the transition towards a cleaner, greener, more sustainable, and prosperous planet for all people.